Yeah, I'm keeping it straight too, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I just popped the bean.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
I don't think anybody says that. I don't think you know anyone that says they've popped a bean.
I know at least one person.
Now you don't.
Wait. I still know you.
I was gone.
Now you don't.
I don't really know where to go, but Sandy did extend his hands.
I said
his wings. I don't know if he did that per se, but he did. He did help me through the halls. There was no flying involved. Yeah. So basically, this is how I'm thinking about it. Like, I know my kick and like my 808s specifically are going to be hitting around like this bass sub region. From
so like the left side. The left side.
So like from like 35 hertz to like 100 hertz. Maybe even 200 hertz. I know my bass is really important to be like.
Welcome back to the Sandbar with your host, your friendly neighborhood MC, Sandy Paulino. And joining us today is a childhood best friend of mine, the Texas sport loving, Michigan State attending, illustrious, industrious, beat making, eat six beats, aka Edward Trippett. How are you, Edward?
You know me. I don't know why you had to put my full government out there. It's whatever, but you know I'm glad to be on the show. Be on the show.
Okay, Edward is somewhat of a beat connoisseur. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you call it whatever it is. I mean, I listen to music. I enjoy the tunes like everybody else does. I'm more into the instrumental side, though. I do like how beats are composed and the complexity of the beat, especially nowadays in modern trap. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the beats. I would say the beats are pretty. They go crazy.
Pretty fire. Yeah, they're bangers.
So, for those of you listening or watching this, Edward actually made the beat, the eventually famous beat for this podcast.
And that's true.
He's the guy behind the sounds. All right.
That will be me.
If you hear some sort of musical noise that's coming out, it was Edward.
Probably.
So, yeah. Me and Edward met actually. How old are we?
I mean, I'd probably say, he said, how old are we? I don't actually know. I say we were probably grade. Like 13. It was like probably.
Yeah, it was like halfway through 7th grade, right?
Yeah, I say November 7th grade. Definitely.
Yeah.
I pulled up.
You pulled up from Sandy. Florida. From the Florida.
Yeah, I pulled up from the Floridians. I was there on a little excursion, you know.
Yeah.
That's another story, but
yeah. You were roaming the halls. I saw you was a lost, lonely boy, and I came to save you.
They gave me a schedule. I ain't never seen a schedule like it. So I was like, I don't really know where to go. But Sandy did extend his hands.
I said
his wings. I don't know if he did that per se, but he did. He did help me through the halls. There was no flying involved though.
Yeah.
It was all on the ground.
No, but it was cool. You were like, I don't know what it was. It was just a vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yo, this guy, he's gonna be one of them dudes.
Yeah, and I feel like you definitely the same way. You know, you gave off a Sandy's got it.
Yeah,
he's got what it takes.
It was definitely that lunch table when I introduced you to everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you. At that point, I wasn't even friends with those dudes. I just sat there because I had a friend that sat there. And then we became friends with that group at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Like, as you were meeting them, I was still getting to know them.
Oh, so, wow. That's interesting. I did not have that background knowledge. Yeah. Now I have the hindsight. It seems so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But we was definitely chilling at that table. We was playing mitten ball too. You can't forget about that.
Oh, the mitten ball.
Good old days, man. That lunch table was home for some mitten ball trash talk and ciphers solely.
Yes, ciphers. The beats on the lunch table were definitely top notch. The pencil beats.
Someone just needs to put out a track like with just pencil beat. Like, I need the baby pencil beat now.
That would be pencil beat. I'm surprised nobody's done that actually. Like, just a straight up acoustic.
Yeah, and if they
pencil.
have, it clearly has not become mainstream because I have not heard it.
Yeah, the beat. I'm sure the beat was fire, but whoever hopped on it did not do it justice. That's probably the issue that's going on.
Yeah, that'd be happening. People be getting fire production and then just ruining it. They're just like,
or the opposite.
Trash vocals.
The opposite, where like the vocals are absolute flames, but the production was just not existent.
Yeah, that does happen. It's like, bro, who recorded your beat in GarageBand, bro? Please, there's no mixing, bro.
Yeah. So how did you, getting on topic, how did you get into the whole like the beat making and music and all that? What got you into that?
Well, honestly, I was a kid. I was experimenting with my little laptop. I was always into computers and stuff like that, and I always had a fondness for music. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna download some shit. I'm gonna download some shit. Try to make some beats. Not for any money, not for anything in particular, but just so I could hear them and be like,
just for fun.
Like this is fire, I guess. Like, or this is what I want to hear. Like, you can't really cater music to yourself, but like you can make music yourself. Like, it's not really hard anymore. So I downloaded illegally off the internet, but don't do that on the internet. You just want to pay for it. It's like $300 probably. There's probably one for like 100 beans. You could get that one, but I didn't do that. Not saying that you should do that or anyone at all, but I did that. And I just started making beats, started downloading software. It's DAW, popularly known as Fruity Loops. A lot of people use those.
What is a DAW? What is that?
DAW, I think it stands for like digital audio something with a W, but it's basically just a software used for processing audio files. You can pretty much use them to create beats. People probably know GarageBand, Logic, anything like that you can just make a song in or record vocals, edit audio files. You can use DAWs for, and it doesn't even really have to be music. You could use them for, I don't know, video editing or just removing background noise. Yeah, you could. They're very, very dual purpose.
Okay. So before DAWs, was there like how was the whole music process? What was run me through that.
Oh, like honestly, like before, like you couldn't really make beats on your computer. You'd have to, let's say 40 years ago, you'd have to know a guy. You'd have to know a guy's cousin. You'd have to maybe do some coke, and then you get in the studio with the guys, and they're like, "All right, man, this is it. Let's record your track, Holmes. Like, record it. Like, and it might be fire, but it might not be." And that's like pretty much your only way to like produce music. Like, you're producing live music. It wasn't until like the 80s they came out with samplers. Samplers actually been out since like 60s, 70s, 80s, but they haven't really been using them in mainstream hip hop or rap until the 80s, creating beats. Okay. So yeah, that would have sucked. But nowadays you could easily just.
Well, that's why there's so many people in the music industry now. Because before you had to, like you said, like you really had to get connected to get it. There was no SoundCloud rapping. Because that's what
there's no
SoundCloud was like the transition. Like the era of SoundCloud was what transitioned us into what we are today.
Yeah, to be honest, like I feel like Soulja Boy probably doesn't just get a lot of credit for how he was able to use the internet in like early 2000s, 2005, 2006 to just on LimeWire put like his song and change the name of it and be like, it's 50 Cent. And you download it and it's not 50 Cent, it's Soulja Boy. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't ask for Soulja Boy.
Yeah. That's
but you're like, wait a minute, it's actually fire though. Download more.
Yeah, more of not 50 Cent.
Like, yo, bro, this ain't 50, but it's kind of hidden.
I didn't know he did that. That's crazy.
Nah, yeah, it definitely did that. And so
I thought it was like a YouTube thing. He blew up because of the dancing.
Well, it's easier to make music and make it sound professional, but it's harder to honestly break through and become the next like Lil Uzi or the next like Yachty or something. You can't really do that unless you're goated. You gotta be goated.
Yeah, I think it's like always. There's always pioneers kind of to a certain situation. Even if they're not the first, they're the first to blow up, you know? Like,
there's going to be those people. Yeah. And especially like location plays a factor. Like you coming out of Atlanta, you coming out of Philly, like you coming out of big spots for music, you can get some connections. Like
Yeah.
you might run into somebody. Like that's a possibility. You can't run into nobody in York, Pennsylvania. You're not like in East Lansing. You're not finna get a record label here. No.
Yeah.
You're finna run into a drunk guy at the bar here. That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. There's no big producers.
No big names here. No.
So, what about like early 2000s? How did the music really start hitting? You know, that was like the R&B and all that kind of stuff. How did the producing affect that?
Yeah, like you can even like honestly like hear it in music, and especially nowadays, like back in the early 2000s, like beats became like you could tell it was digital. Like Young Jock, it's going down. Like Nitty, like that man was making some fire beats, but the thing that really set his beats apart from a lot of other people and just music at that time, the 808s was banging, bro. Like, and you could tell like there's not an actual guy with the drum in a studio hitting the shit out of it, making that bass. It's computerized audio. It's an audio file probably loaded up off of a sampler or a DAW probably, and they had the technology back then. And now that you can easily download it on a laptop, you don't have to be in a studio to maybe have like a synthesizer that has a sampler on it with an 808. You could just now download it, download that. And there's like people who have, I'd say, pioneered different eras in that. Like the 90s, you have people like, let's say the 80s, you have NWA using 808s. You have Public Enemy using 808s, making hard beats. It's a different like type of rap altogether.
It's kind of like that beat drop music.
Yeah, that hard rap that really like you can feel it. Like you can feel it in like your bones. You're actually shaking. That low freak. That's what you need right there. That low frequency, like less than 75 hertz. That'll get you.
That's what you feel. Like that's when people are like they feel the bass.
I feel like that's like a key point in like music, that you start to feel like the vibration of it. You can't like you can hear the treble and it can like you can like feel it in your body kind of, but it doesn't really move you.
Yeah. Okay.
Like physically.
That's a good way to put it. You were telling me something about the mixing part of it, like how you were talking about the instruments in the studio and the difference between that and mixing.
Yeah, so like mixing pretty much like back in like let's say the 70s or even the 60s, you got the Beatles. You ever listen to a Beatles song on vinyl or even now on Spotify, you can tell that Ringo's playing the drums on the right side and Paul's singing on the left side. Like you can hear that, but it's not because they mixed it on a DAW like FL Studio or GarageBand. It's because they were physically in a studio, like they were physically recording in that space, and then they did the mixing in the studio, probably post-production. Like they do have ways to mix to different channels, but like that was all routed like analog. Like they had the setup, they had the mic here, they had a mic there, they were routing the audio channel there, they were changing it. Like if you ever listen to the songs, if you can hear like one part of the instrumental on the left side of your headphones, but like you can faintly hear the right side because like it's not perfect. Acoustic, it was picking it up, but like that creates a space, like because it's a physical space. So like when you listen to the music, it sounds like they're physically in a space. So now in modern music, modern trap, you want to emulate that. You want to make it seem like the music was created in a space. Like you didn't just make it in your Mac. Like you didn't make it in a mic, like in a box. Like it sounds like, what the fuck is this, bro? There's no depth to your beat. You want depth. You want it to sound like someone's far away in the room recording it, or like someone's coming through with the piano over here. Like you want to feel that.
Okay. I didn't like before we started having these conversations, I didn't realize that mixing was this. I knew mixing was important, but I didn't know it was like the whole kind of like, I guess it's bringing the orchestra together.
Yeah, it makes it sound natural, I'd say. Like and you can mix to the point where it sounds so perfect that it was mixed, because it's like, wow, this doesn't sound like it's at all like a genuine space recording, because it's so perfect that I can tell that it's excellent. Like you clearly have things spaced out and going through, like there's reverb, like everything is great. So yeah, like a lot of people can't really tell, but there would be a big difference in audio quality if people weren't mixing. Like,
I think you can tell a little bit. Like if you go on like the SoundCloud rappers, you you can really tell when someone's like auto tuning and when somebody just made like a drum sample or something.
Yeah, it's like damn, wow, their mixing capability. Like you can tell that they tried to mix, but it wasn't as good as like someone on the radio or someone who's on
and like
Billboard
the
100
vocals, the vocal. A lot of times, because I'm not like an expert, but I love music, so I really have like try to focus on listening to the quality of the music, and you can really hear the vocals detached, kind of. The vocals will be detached from the instrumental, and it just doesn't sound like good.
Yeah, it's like wow, they didn't actually like mix it in properly. Like that's honestly where I think the term mixing is coming from, because it's like you want to make it sound like the audio is like your vocals are intertwined with the instrumental. Like you want it to sound like you're in where the beat is also being made, but you can differentiate between where the vocals are coming from and where the audio is coming from, and each part of the audio is mixed separately. The volumes are different. Like you don't want it to just be the beat's quiet in the background, there's no depth to the beat, it all sounds like it's on this in the same place, and then your vocals are in a separate place. Like oh, I'm rapping, it's just like wow, like I can't really enjoy this song. It sounds like he's distracting himself with the beat. Like that's it won't sound good.
Okay. What do you use to mix? You said whatever it is that you recommended people purchase and not
yeah
not do
purchase purchase definitely instead of do what I did. But yeah, you can mix. I don't know if you can do it on every DAW, but on FL Studio, the one I have, you definitely can. It has a separate mixer where you can just route each individual audio file or each individual track, and give it its own mix. You can add reverb to it, you can equalize it, you can lower the volume, do whatever you want to make it sound right in the track. Like you want to listen and make sure the individual track sounds right, and then you want to play it in with the other audio files that you have, your other tracks, and make sure it has its place, like it's good where it is. You don't want your hi-hats to be too high, you don't want your piano to be hitting too strong, like like those things matter.
So is FL Studio like a popular one?
I'd say FL Studio is probably like top 3 popular ones. Like the only other one I know that like people would use to make beats is Logic. I know that there are other ones that you can use, but this is pretty much where I've stayed at. I don't want to deviate from it.
So would you just to add, I guess, credibility, do you know anyone that uses FL Studio professionally?
Yeah, like I'd say like a lot of producers, especially in trap now, like I know Metro Boomin uses it. Sunny Digital definitely uses it. Hit Boy's definitely been seen using it. And those are just like 3 off the top of my head.
Okay. So you said something earlier that kind of like I wanted you to get into a little bit about the 808s and why it's so important to have those in today's music. Like how, like, because that's, in the rap song, you're like, they're always talking about the 808s are hitting, or like I put the 808 in this, the 808 did that. And a lot of times I feel like me, because I know music, I kind of know what an 808 is. But and then we also talked about it the other day. But I feel like people are like, oh yeah, the 808's bumping, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I guess thinking about like the hardest like rock song that like that came out pre-2000, like some Nirvana or maybe some metal. They have some hard kick drums that they're using there, but where difference is that the 808s have a lower frequency. They really shake the place. I'd like to compare it to like a really high pitched noise will break a glass or break a window. A really low noise, low frequency noise will shake things. It'll actually physically move your speakers. So
crazy.
in like the modern rap, early 2000s, especially now, rappers like 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, Future, like most of the beats are comprised with that 808 that pretty much like holds the skeleton of the beat in, like because you're always anticipating that 808 just hitting, like, and you feel it when you go to a party.
The beat drop. It's like when people are like,
when they play the box, like the 808s are complex, so you're just like, like you're just too much in it because you're feeling the music.
That makes sense. So what about I guess when you got the 808, right? There's what was that song you told me about? Hot Shower. Is that like
Yeah, Hot Shower.
that's where like the 808 carries the song?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It like it's like edges the beat drop so that you basically listen to the whole beat before you get the beat drop.
Yeah, like 808s like don't like because they're holding the skeleton of the beat, and I'd like to say like you don't want to just like have them overpowered. And some songs like have them hit when they need to hit and are mainly 808 based, but other songs like Hot Shower, I can't think of another one on top of my head right now, but they're mainly comprised like where they space the 808 out. They make you edge it along.
Yeah.
Well, like they're edging it along on your like, all right, 808 for the hit here, and like you're waiting for that. And like songs like The Box where like they have that intro playing, just like I feel like it's giving it that feel where it's making you have to guess when it's about to hit, or even you're just like waiting for it to hit because they've sucked you into the beat.
Yeah. Okay. What about 50 Cent? I feel like because I'm a big 50 Cent guy, so like I'm always I feel like the 808s and the 50 Cent songs really go hard.
Yeah, like definitely in the club, top 10 song. Definitely probably top 5 50 Cent song.
That's the
like
one.
He said, "I'm trying to hit that." He's trying to hit that jump, but but nah. Like now the 808s in that song are definitely really overpowered, and the beat itself is not at all even that complex. Like there's not any. No, I don't want to say anyone. Dr. Dre definitely made the beat. I think with the help of Scott Storch, but like the melodies aren't very hard to achieve. Like they're not complex in themselves. It's simply just like the 808's fire. Like the 808 is fire in that song, and you need to go back and just listen to In the Club and be like,
and listen to that. Yeah,
the instrumental itself is not that hard, but the 808 is fire. But
and
the instrumental is not hard because 50 Cent's vocals like they carry their own weight. Yeah, like so it doesn't distract from him too much, and the beat is still fire because it's bumping.
I feel like song. I feel like 50 is one of those guys that it's not like he has like the craziest lyrics of all time, but it's just for music. He has, he just like, he hops on a track and the way that he delivers whatever he's trying to say is bumping.
Yeah, the beat is hard. His like not even necessarily the lyricism, but his vocals, like how he's flowing with the song is hard, and especially because he's authentic. Like he just has that persona to him, so you expect that kind of flow. You expect that delivery.
I feel like that because Pop Smoke is basically like 50 Cent Jr. So I think Pop Smoke was like 50 Cent with the persona and the vocal delivery and all that, but then he had a little more of the lyrics, and that's kind of what kind of helped him blow up. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Pop Smoke not only has some fire air horns here, air horns here, fire instrumentals, bro. Like that man has some bangers, bro. Because so many producers can make music. Like you only have a handful of people who can become famous artists.
Yeah.
But those famous artists can get their beats from all of the producers. So if you can produce to the level that a famous artist wants to, buy your beat or use your beat, whatever the situation may be, like they have a large catalog to pick from. Like they can blow up because they can get fire shit if they're willing to pay for it.
It's
so
like,
if you already are a good rapper, you have a good flow, and you have a good rep, you can get the best instrumentals and the best services.
You can shop around.
Yeah, you can shop around. And so
it's
if you're
like
an artist
YouTubers
out there, you should know that. Like mix around, find people who are going to provide you the best beats for what you want. And if you have a guy that is your guy, by all means stick with him. Like let that man shine too.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're growing and you're trying to get out there, that's definitely something that you're going to want to do. Like there's 10 times as many producers trying to make beats for people.
It's similar to YouTubers, like I was saying before. They have the content, they have their pictures and videos and the vlogging and all that, but then there's a catalog of editors and people that do videography,
people who are gonna audio engineer for you, people who are gonna set up all your shit, like on the side, management teams. Like there's a bunch of motherfuckers who would be willing to do that. It's just like I feel like the artists or the YouTubers or whoever it is who's gonna be the front head of the operation like realizes that like, hey, you can only actually like get to that maximum potential like with some of that. Like you're gonna need some management, you're gonna need some help.
You need, that's what I'm figuring out with this podcast, where I'm trying to I kind of wanted to do it as independent as possible, where I wanted to make everything, but then it's not realistic, you know?
It's not feasible.
You gotta outsource for some things. What?
Oh, it's actually it's called the ZPD.
What is that?
It's the zone of proximal development.
Oh, that sounds like intellectual.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you about it real quick if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let me know about that.
So,
and it's workspace. The W in DAW is workspace, digital audio workspace, or workstation.
Yeah, something like that. Workhorse.
Yeah.
But so basically, it's mainly used in like childhood development, but it's basically defined as a gap that encapsulates what a child could do like on his own with no help, and what a child could do with the aid of his peers or with another adult, like a teacher or a facilitator, right? So take riding a bike, for example. If you're 6 years old and you try to ride a bike, if you just try on your own, you're not getting any help. You're just trying by using what you think
just
is
hopping on a bike.
Yeah, like you're probably gonna be shit. And you might actually learn how to ride the bike, but like chances are it's probably gonna not work out as well as if your mom or someone you cared about or someone that knew how to ride the bike was able to aid you through the process.
Yeah.
To help you ride the bike. And so that's the gap of like maximum potential and like natural potential is defined as like the ZPD, zone of proximal development.
Okay.
So like
that makes sense.
That works for this podcast. If you try to do this podcast on your own and you don't look up any videos you think that you want to do on your own, or you're trying to become a rapper and you like that a lot of rappers glorify the fact that they do it on their own, like they didn't get no help. Like no one was there for me. My mama died when I was 3, and I like, man, like if that's the image that you're trying to present, by all means that's cool, but like no, it's real life. Like there's definitely going to be a maximum potential that you can fulfill if you're helped by others. If you just try to do shit on your own, you might be able to do shit. Like if LeBron James tried to play basketball by himself with no coaching whatsoever, he'd probably still be in the NBA because he's goated. So if you're goated, you'd probably still be able to do it.
Yeah, like Kobe probably didn't need any coaches.
Yeah, like Kobe probably was defecated. This man was a Mamba. Like but you're not going to be able to reach your maximum potential like without that. Like you want to be able to bridge that ZPD gap.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense.
I forgot what you said. I couldn't continue. I couldn't do it. Like I had the energy to do it at first, but then it just went away.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go. And we're back here on the Sandbar. Took a quick intermission, quick little snack break. It got a little chilly, so I threw on, you know what I mean? I threw on a You Feel Me.
I ain't throwing nothing. Matter of fact, I threw something off. You're lucky you can't see below my waist in this from this shot. Might not be viewer friendly. Yeah, but, that's fine.
We're back. That's what matters. We're back, and Edward is now gonna share his screen, and we're gonna get into the down and dirty. You feel me? We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of how he made the beat that we are currently enjoying to this day.
Yeah, nitty gritty.
Let me see.
Yeah,
you can share. Is that an option for you?
It is now an option for me. Thank you, Sandy. All right, don't look at my screen here. Don't let the viewers see this. All right, so here we are. This basically my skeleton track. So the unmastered version of the beat I made for.
Yeah, and we're in FL Studio, right?
Yeah, so we're in FL Studio here, right? So in this little window right here, man, you can see all my audio files. Okay. So basically, these are all the sounds I used to create the beat. So these are nicely ordered here, and then you'd go through here to like filter all of them. Okay. Very good. You can see all the sounds and tracks I have. And then you could also sync them to this mixer here, and then you get a entire view of each of the tracks, and each of them are mixed individually so it can, sound good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be slapping.
Okay, so for the mixer, each track that you see on there with a track 1, 2, whatever through, was it 8 tracks, 9 tracks?
The mixer
Yeah.
holds like channels for each of the
Yeah.
individual audio files, and then it's all sent to this master track here.
Okay.
And then if I were to play it, it's all sent to
in
the
that
master.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely did not articulate it as well as you just did. So thank you for that. So take us through, man. How did you get this popping?
All right, so basically, I knew Sandy wanted some, like a vibey feel. So I made this melody right here, this guitar main track right here. I made it out of a guitar VST, which is just like pretty much a virtual instrument it's like a virtual synthesizer. So here it is right here. This is what it looks like. It's kind of hard to master.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely haven't mastered it, but not gonna get into all that nitty gritty. Basically, here is I have a MIDI keyboard, which I can't really show in screen, but is here. You could hook up a regular keyboard to a DAW; it'll still work the same. And basically, I mapped it out, and then this is the.
So you played this on the keyboard that you have, on the MIDI that you have.
Yeah, and then you can record it, and then like obviously edit it down to be good, good enough for Sandy's podcast. You know what I'm saying? So like that's basically the main melody behind that. And so then clearly I had to get the flute in there, and that's coming from Nexus. It's just like a popular VST that a lot of people use.
And what is a VST?
Well, it's just like a virtual synthesizer, virtual instrument tool, I'd say. Okay. You can upload any sounds you want into it. So you can see I have a lot of these expansion packs in here. So I don't want to change it because then it'll change what it sounds like. But I use whatever is Sky Flow Trap Piccolo, and apparently it was slapping. Yeah, that was the Sky Flow Trap Piccolo was the. Yeah, this is what we get here.
The undertone.
This undertone right here.
So that was an already pre-made sound.
Yeah, the sound that you're hearing is pre-made, but the melody has to be crafted. So it just is like a piano, except the sound is just a custom-made sound. So this one is just a piccolo, and it was fire. And I was like, you know what? That needs to be in the background of this, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we go on to the main guitar melody. The main guitar melody was easy. Like what comes in after the beat drops. Is just,
that was special requested.
But it's just like this I got from one that's supposed to actually mimic a guitar as much as possible. It even has a guitar picture. I don't know if that actually helps enhance how well it sounds like a guitar.
Well, I think if you understand, if you know how to play the piano and the guitar, you can physically see. What you want to play.
Yeah, I think that really definitely helped me out on that one. But yeah, so that's pretty much basic there. And the rest was just the beat making process, is just finding the right hi-hat, snare, kick, and then I had to make the 808 pattern, obviously, and then making sure it all comes together to sound somewhat cohesive. And then at the end, you get into the mixing process, and that's where this comes in handy. Over here to the right, you could definitely see, on the 808, for example, I have some EQ here. So the 808s, naturally, when you download them from the internet, they be kind of shit. I'm not going to hold you. They're not good. And so what you need to do is you definitely need to equalize it. Because like I said, we're trying to emulate a space, and we are on a computer. So I cut out a lot of the high frequency here. So there's no real treble in this.
There's no glass breaking.
Yeah, there's no glass breaking noise. And I even cut out some of the low in here. This what they call sub bass, but even farther out here, that will just distort and clash very badly. So you don't really want that in there. You want the sound to be in a good frequency, but you want to cut out the parts that you don't need in that are going to be in other songs. Clearly my snares and my hi-hats are going to use a lot of treble. I don't want to leave my treble up on the 808 when I'm not even going to be using it. It's just going to put unwanted noise in the end of my mix.
Yeah, okay. So for the people that are just listening to this, basically, if you look up what a frequency looks like for music mixing, what he did was he cut out a lot of the upper right side of the equalizer, and then he cut out some of the left side, like all the way on the left side of the
Yeah, the low
equalizer.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
like,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so like I got this right here. This is supposed to like represent like the far left end of my beat.
Equalizer.
So
Okay.
yeah, so right here are the 808. So right here it represents that. So I could like change it
There's little
to do
tabs
what I
there.
want it to do. And so what I want it to do is this like little it's like closed end basically. And so
Yeah.
I placed it at 40 hertz so it could slowly cut out everything that
Okay.
was below that, because I was
Mm.
noticing when I was listening to my mix that the low end sounds a little bit rumbly. It's a little noisy. I don't really want that. I'm gonna cut that out.
Mm. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And clearly, like the hi-hats here, as you see, conversely, like there is not really any low end in the
Yeah.
hi-hat at all. And I don't need it because I don't want
It's
there
a
to be any
hi-hat.
low
Yeah.
end in the hi-hat. Like I'm gonna cut it off here because this is where I started hearing that it was, sounding
So
a little
where are you
clashy.
cutting it off?
Well, like so basically, this is how I'm thinking about it. Like I know my kick and like my 808s specifically are going to be hitting around like this bass like region from
So
like,
like the left side, the
yeah,
left
from the
side
left
of the
side. So like
yeah.
from like 35 hertz to like 100 hertz, maybe even 200 hertz. I know my bass is really important to be like focused around there. So I need to
Mm.
find like where I want the peak to be and what I want to include. So like here, I'm like, all right, well, my hi-hats, I want to include a lot of the treble. I liked how they sounded like on the high end. And then I wanted
Mm.
to cut out a little bit of the high mid and a little bit of the mid because I knew that my snare was going to clash there, because like my
Okay.
snare is going to be in that place.
In the high mid
Yeah,
area. Okay.
so this is my snare right here. This is my clap. And as you can see, like my
Yeah.
clap is peaking in the mid here, but it's taking a lot of this high mid. Like
I'm sorry.
yo, is he laughing at my equalization here? What's good?
Nah, you're just like my clap, and my bad, my bad, my bad. It was just,
Sonny, that's not professional, man. That's not professional.
yeah, that's me. That's on me. But
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
so clearly like the bass, the 808 is gonna be here. The hi-hats are kind of over here. So it's like creating a space for all the instruments. Like,
Mm.
and what also helps create a sense of space is the reverb here,
Okay.
making it set like basically controls like the echo, the decay, and how like wet something sounds. I guess that's
so
the best way I can
how
explain
wet
that.
it sounds. He opened up a tab for the reverb.
Yeah,
What would you call it, like an effect?
yeah. A reverb is
Yeah.
definitely like an effect. You
Yeah.
can do this like you can actually buy a tool that like plugs into guitars or other instruments to create a reverb effect on vocals. But
Yeah.
the DAW does that obviously because it is meant to mimic all like human instruments. So on here, the reverb basically, let's say I'm on my melody here, the main melody, and I can isolate this track. I can go over here.
He's isolating the MIDI track from before.
Yeah, I'm isolating the main melody. So now without the reverb, like if I were to take, I have multiple reverbs on there. If I were to take everything off, like you would notice that it's missing some sort of depth to it.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
you can hear it, but it just sounds like it maybe is on a computer.
it's like
sounds,
stingy too.
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't sound
kind
as
of
good,
yeah.
and it's not as loud. Whereas if you were to
It's not as smooth. Yeah.
add the equalization and the reverb,
Okay.
like you see how you're getting like a broader range. Like it sounds like it's echoing. There's a little bit of delay, and also I have it equalized to where I want it to be. Like
that makes sense.
That's how you want it. So it's boosted the right way. I'm not boosting it where it sounds bad.
It's just kind of giving it's giving like you said, it's giving that space for the instruments to sound a little more real.
And you like want to have a mix, and there's definitely like rules and like not necessarily regulations, but recommendations on how to mix 808s, claps, melodies. But at the end of the day, like once you figure out the rules, like you at the end of the day can decide which rules you want to break and like how you want to break them if it sounds good. Like at the end of the day, the music needs to sound good. So
whatever
clearly you want to mix it professionally, you want to mix it well, but like you know, you can have distorted 808s and be a hit song and Look at Me. You can have weird ass reverb on the whole album. Yeezus, all that shit is distorted. There's lots of extra reverb and delay, but that's purposely done because he's doing it professionally. Like it's intentional.
Yeah. And going back to Hot Shower, I remember last time we talked about how it sounds like it's 2016. It's from 2016 because it was that time like when all the dance songs were coming out.
Yeah, it was that time like the Bankroll Fresh and Famous Dex Drip From My Walk. Like,
but it's from 2019. They just used that same kind of, I guess concept, you would call it like like the 808 formula for that music.
Yeah, honestly, they said, let's make a simple ass beat. It's easily catchy, and then just drop the hard ass 808 on you with some catchy ass rap. Like that's what they did, and shit was fire. You can't lie.
That's hilarious.
And they're doing it today. All right, so let me just go to the first track, the guitar main, and this tab right here is very nifty. It lets you play just all the tracks and then cycle through them, whereas this just like plays whatever you put on this like playlist.
Whatever you
like whatever you put in these tracks, but if you, as long as you have the channel rack here, you can just play each channel individually and it'll loop it. So
that's this guitar.
This is definitely the main guitar melody here.
It's so weird, like technology, whatever, but you played a guitar instrument on a piano. You played a guitar sound on a piano.
Yeah, you definitely do, and that's very weird. Yeah, it's like
that's just
it's like, and that's kind of hard to wrap your mind about. How they can, like, program audio, like that's kind of weird.
And this is I didn't even know. I didn't even hear this. That's crazy.
Yeah, the 808 is subtle in this. But it keeps it jumping when the beat comes together.
Yeah.
A lot of songs sometimes have an 808, like a more thumpier 808, and don't have a kick. Well, other songs use an 808 and a kick, and for this beat, I used an 808 and a kick because I feel like the kick was needed to send the 808 over the edge.
It's like the kick is like very thumpy, chilling back there. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the hats. This is honestly just a channel of how I ordered like two different, like a snare, a clap, and then a different clap because I didn't want there to be the same clap noise. So that sounds pretty basic. Then this is another variation.
And this is all in the track?
Yeah, this is all in like the channel. So like you can find them. This is hats and this is hats number 2. So like it just variates there.
But it's all on the same track. It's different hats, but on the same track.
Yeah, it's different hats, but I put them on the same spot just for organization. But I could easily just drag it down here.
Okay.
But like the way I did this was I created the hats track originally, but then I was like, all right, I want some variation. So I clicked make a unique, and then it makes it a unique like channel basically. So it's hats number 3 now, but I don't really need that anymore. Hats number 1 goes there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that's like an easy way. Like if you make a pattern and you're like, wow, like it's sounding like it's repetitive, make some unique files and then just change it a little bit. And all I did between the two of them was just add this second part right here, 2 more claps there. But it was it's monumental. Like you gotta have that.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the
that's like the and that kind of brings, you really hear it when you bring the beat in and when you're taking it out.
Yeah, this is like my transition melody, I would say. Like I was like, I need a darker, more like a darker and a lower sound, because like when I cut the 808 and the kick out, I don't want it to just be all like highs and mids. Like that's not. So you still feel like more of like an ominous vibe on this.
I don't know why this is giving me Star Wars vibes.
Yeah, and I didn't make the beat like chronological. Like I didn't make it how you're seeing it. Like I came up with different parts that I liked, and I came up with this part before I even came up with the flute part. And that was like the main part of the beat. And then I was like, you know what? Nah, I want that to be more transitional, and I want there to be a different instrument in charge of the background melody. And so that pattern is only seen like these 4 times. Like that noise doesn't come back. It is only used for the transition period.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that all the time. When I'm putting stuff together, that's the part that I always remember.
Yeah, like that part is the transition.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've got to put this in here.
That's what, and if you're making music, you made this as an intro, not as a song. But when you're making music, is this where this is like where the hook would go, right? Or like the chorus?
Yeah, like I'd say typically if you're making, like if this were to be like a typical song here, like you'd have the intro be up here. The hi-hats are like still part of like the leading intro. You might get some talkage, some verbiage going on in there. And then as soon as the beat drops here, like you might have them start rapping like this part right here before the beat
right
comes
before
in,
the beat drops,
or they might
start on the beat drop.
Start right on the beat.
Yeah.
So then someone would rap for 4 bars, and then right here they would probably have like this is probably a portion of time that would be considered like just like whatever your hook or chorus is.
Yeah, the transition that we just heard.
Yeah, like whatever they repeat like at the end of whatever. But because this is like so short, I didn't organize it as that. I knew what the purposes were for. Yeah. So I was granted a little bit of freedom in how I organized it.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, for anybody listening, you're free to, if you want to freestyle on the beat and send me your freestyle, shoot it my way.
Oh yeah, you're not better than us. You're not better than us. We got bars. We got bars. We'll get you on here. We'll do a 5 Fingers of Death. I ain't playing.
Oh my gosh, you would produce a 5 Fingers of Death.
I'll produce a 5 Fingers of Death.
Oh my gosh,
it'll be all unknown beats. None of them related.
I'm gonna throw that out there, and I'm gonna see what the people want to do.
I'm telling you, man. I'm saying y'all can rap, but I don't believe y'all. Let's get back into the.
Yeah, let's get through
into the trackage.
The rest of the trackage.
Let's get back to the trackage. All right, let's go with the kick right here. Standard kick. Standard kick.
Yeah.
That's a metronome.
Do you set the metronome as you're doing the kick, or is that just extra?
Typically when I'm doing the drums, I set the metronome just so I can like keep the beat, because normally like sometimes I might just have like a background melody in the back, but I'm like, damn, like where the beat at though? Because I'm making the beat. So I'm like, all right, let me set the metronome so I can make sure I stay on tempo. I'm not missing something. So that's literally just the kick right there. This is that guitar we were talking about. All right, so guitar without like the mix is probably atrocious. Let's hear it. Without that, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
So the equalization lifts it a lot. Like without the equalization, like I lift it by like 12 decibels there. So, but that also helps. The phaser is what like phases it in between the left and right stereo. That's what gives it that weird wobbly noise, kind of.
Oh, like the bouncy noise?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
This makes it more like electric guitar-y. The Fruity Blood Overdrive tool is a very good tool. Makes it...
The name for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it does exactly what you'd think. And then I got a little bit of a bass boost. I got a vocoder on it just to wash down the sound a little bit.
Okay.
Then we pop up the reverb, the EQ, and the bass boost, and that's pretty much it.
By the way, I'm not at all well versed in the beat making process. I'm learning right alongside you all, and I know basic like garage band music things that I learned from music classes and being in chorus. But I don't really. I'm learning these. This is new terminology. This is new terminology for me as well.
All right, let's hear that, John. Yeah.
Yeah, and you listen to it differently now. Like you like listen for the individual elements.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
It grew on me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the.
All right, we got the first hat.
Yeah.
All right, now we got the second hat, the variation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here comes the Oh, and the guitar comes in with the bass.
Yeah, the guitar was necessary, bro.
Yeah. That's.
He's like, nah, I need that content.
Okay.
No, but where are your bars at, though, bro?
My bars.
Where are your bars at, man? Oh, I think it's about to go in.
No. We tried this before, and the lag with the zoom and all that just sounded atrocious.
I believe it sounded fire. I think he was just capping it. Oh, I think he did it. Air horn here. Air horn here. I think you did it. I think you killed that beat, man.
Yeah, so that's the beat. That's how the beat was made, man.
Yeah, man.
That is how, and Edward is gonna be my bad. Eat Six Beats is gonna be the guy behind the music that you're bumping when you listen to this podcast.
Yeah, so we're gonna get it straight, man.
I'm gonna put his contact on. I'm gonna throw it on the social medias. I'm gonna tag it on the episode. Follow him, and if you got any questions, let him know. Let me know. If you want something like this again, if you want a different type of beat, if you want something specific.
Oh God! What have I done, bro?
That was like audioception.
Yeah, that was the worst thing. I realized what I did, and it was bad.
But yeah, hit us up. This has been another episode of the Sandbar. Thank you for hopping on the Sandbar with my boy Edward. Please
hit him with the outro.
Subscribe, follow, and we're gonna be around. We're gonna be making some content. Slide in the DMs. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, you better.
All critiques are welcome. Doesn't matter if it's negative, positive, if it's constructive.
If it's criticism,
you feel me?
Better be nice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. What if it's like mean, but it's true?
They're gonna have to see me.
Okay. But you're in Michigan, though. By the way, Edward's in Michigan. I'm gonna let him know your exact location. I'm gonna give him your coordinates. I can see you moving your mouse.
Oh damn! Oh man, yo, the screen share got me.
Yeah, the screen share.
That was deceptive. Let me hit the outro here. You know what it is, man.
Thank you for hopping on the Sandbar.
Yo, thanks for having us, bro.
This has been another episode, and we will see y'all or hear you, or maybe both next time.
Maybe both, yeah. Yeah, it's a track I'm working on. Me and my man's working on. We working on this track. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I make the beat. I got the beat outsourced. I outsourced the beat, but I'm trying to write the lyrics. I'm trying to get on the. I wrote the chorus. We gotta get up.
You gotta get lyrical.
Yeah, I'm trying to write the verse for it, bro. I just gotta get back into it. Been depressed. Yeah, we just got hit the freestyle. Did I come in?
Sipping Chardonnay, first class on a plane.
Yeah.
No, I can't complain.
Yo,
can't complain.
Yeah. I feel like your vocals sound a little better than the other guys.
Yeah, cause I had time to fine tune them.
First class on a plane. No, I can't complain.
Can't complain, Sandy. But no, that's just the skeleton. That's just what we got in the works, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push some shit out, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
So, question, Edward. Where can, if somebody wants you to make a beat for them, where can they, go about inquiring?
Yo, if you can contact me, that's all you gotta do, man. That's all you gotta do. You can contact me, bro. I got you, fam. I mean, I suck and I'm terrible with time management, so you might have to message me. I'm definitely taking a full course load right now. If you get me with 4 messages, yo, Ed, where it at? I'll be like, oh man, I got you.
I don't know if that's how you should market yourself, but at least you're being honest.
No, they know.
Yeah,
We're struggling out here, man. It's hard, but
you know the vibes.
I'll even cater. I'll be like, yo, if that wasn't good enough, bro, I'll send you the second one, John. No worries. I'll send you the master version.
He compensates.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I will go out of my way to make sure I get you what you need, man.
All right, let me
let's hit me with some sad shit, man.
Wait, did you make this beat?
Oh yeah, of course, man.
Oh, okay.
If it looked like this, I made it. If it's just one track, if it's not a master track, I outsourced it.
Yeah.
Hit me with that sad shit, man. About to graduate. Yeah, I'm a real scholar.
He's about to graduate.
I couldn't talk right there. Yeah. I got a full head of hair.
Where's that accent from?
I'm from Texas, y'all. Down in Lexus, y'all. I'm making up some places. I'm making funny faces. My girlfriend, 3 different races.
What?